Hi everybody, welcome to GTCoding. VS Code is a free code editor that has gained a lot of popularity over the years, and it is used by a lot of developers. I use VS Code in all my web development projects. So in this video, we'll take a look at some tips and tricks to make working with VS Code much efficient. So let's get started. Alright, so here I have opened up a project in VS Code. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to customize the appearance of your code editor. Now there are a lot of things that you can customize in VS Code. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to customize these icons. So here we can see for the HTML we have this icon over here, and for CSS we have this icon. And whenever we create a new file over here, it will detect the programming language and it will set the icon based on the language. Now VS Code comes with different icons for different files by default, but you can go ahead and change the icons. So for my VS Code, I have changed the icons to material icon. So you can go over here to this option called extensions, and then you can search for material icon theme. And here we can see the material icon theme. So here are all the icons that are available in this set. So you can go ahead and install any of these icon themes from the extensions. So here we can see there are a lot of different extensions for the icons. So if I click on this one, we can see we have a different set of icons, and all you have to do is just click on this button called install, and the icons will be installed. So you can go ahead and choose any of these icon themes from here and add that to your VS Code. Now it also has icons for the folders. So if I click on this new folder button over here, and if I just type something like new over here, and here we can see the icon of this folder over here. Let me just zoom it a little bit. So this is the icon of a new folder. But if you have a folder with a name of images, it will have a different icon. So let me show you that. Let's create a new folder and we'll just name it images. And now we can see that we have a different icon for the images folder. Now let's create a folder with the name of videos. And now we can see we have a different icon for the videos folder. So that's how the material icon theme works. And the next thing you can customize is the theme. So let's go back to extensions, and here you can just type theme. So I'll just type theme over here. So here you can see there are a lot of themes that we can use for our code editor. For example, if I click on Atom 1 Dark, this is how the theme is going to look. Let's click on install. And you can select a theme from here. So for example, if I click on Dark Plus, this is how the theme is going to look. So you can go ahead and set the color theme to any of the options. So if you go back to our HTML file, here we can see this is how the theme is gonna look. You can go ahead and install any of these themes from here. So let me just uninstall this. And we have other themes like GitHub theme. And let's install this. And here you can see there are a lot of options for this theme. So here we have this light theme by default. And you can go ahead and change any of this. For example, if I click on dark default, this is how it's gonna look. So here we can see the color of the text, the background color, the whole syntax highlighting has changed. So this is how you can change the theme inside your code editor. And now let me show you how to change the font of your code. So for that you have to go over here to File, and then go over here to Preferences, and then click on Settings. And here just search for font. And if you scroll down here, we can see we have this option called Editor Font Family. So you can go ahead and add the name of your font over here. So by default, you will have these two fonts over here. You can go ahead and add any font you want over here. So first of all, you have to download and install the font on your system, and then you have to go ahead and write the name over here. So this is the font that I'm using in my code editor. And then you can also go ahead and change the font size over here. And there's one more option over here called font ligatures. So let me show you what is that. So let's click on edit in settings.json, and here you can see editor.font ligatures is true right now. So let me show you what that does. So if I go over here to my HTML file, and if I type equals equals, we can see that it has changed into a different symbol over here. We don't have two equals, it is combined into a single character. And if I add one more equals over here, we can see that it changes into this symbol right here. So this is font ligatures. So if you want to have not equals, you can just type exclamation and equals, and here you can see we have this symbol right here. So that's basically the work of font ligatures, and it also looks cool and it makes it easier for us to read the code. So if you want to have this option, you can go ahead and change the editor font ligatures to true. By default, it will be false. The next thing you can do to customize the appearance is that you can go ahead and change the ordering of these icons. So for example, if I want to bring this extensions icon to the top, you can go ahead and drag this and bring it over here. And now you can see that it is at the top. So in this way, you can go ahead and change the order of these icons. In the same way, you can also add icons over here. So for example, let me just open the terminal. And for example, if I want to drag the debug console over here to the left, you can just click and drag it over here. And now we can see that the debug console is over here at the left. So in this way, you can go ahead and rearrange or add any new items over here on the left. Let me just bring it back over here. Now if you don't want this sidebar to be here on the left, you can move it to the right. So just right click over here and click on move sidebar right. And now we can see that the sidebar is on the right. Now if you want to hide this sidebar over here on the left, you can just click on any of these icons which is active. So we can see that this is active right now. So if I click on this icon, the sidebar is hidden. But you can also use a shortcut Ctrl B to hide the sidebar. So now you can see that the sidebar is hidden. And if I press Ctrl B once more, the sidebar is displayed. Alright, that's it with the customization of the appearance. Now let me show you different ways of opening a project in VS Code. So you can go ahead and click on File and click on Open Folder, and then go ahead and select a folder from here and the project will be opened. The next way to open the project in VS Code is by going to the project folder and right clicking over here and clicking on Open with Code. And here we can see that the project has been opened. The next way to open the project is using the terminal. So you can go ahead and open your terminal over here. So I'll just right click over here and click on Open Git Bash here. Now this isn't a terminal that comes by default in your operating system. If you want to install this terminal, you can just go ahead and search for Git Bash and download and install the terminal. Or you can just use the command prompt if you're using Windows. And if you're using Linux or Mac, you can just use the terminal. Alright, so once you open the terminal and once you're in the project, you can just go ahead and type code space dot and then just press enter. And here we can see that the project has been opened. So these are the different ways of opening a project in VS Code. Alright, now the next thing I'm going to show you is how to open a file quickly in a VS Code project. So right now in our project we have these 3 files, so it is really easy to go over here and open any of these files from here. But suppose you have a lot of files in your project and you have a lot of folders and a lot of files inside those folders, then you can go ahead and use a shortcut in VS Code. So you can just press Ctrl P and here we can see a list of all the files we have in our project. You can just go ahead and click on any of these files and the file is being opened over here. Or you can just press Ctrl P and start typing the name of the file. So for example, if I want to open the style.css file, I'll just type style, and here we can see the file is being displayed over here, and we can just press enter or click on the file and the file is being displayed over here. So this can save you a lot of time. Now you can also go ahead and search for different symbols in your code. So let me just press Ctrl P, and if I type the @ symbol, we can see that we have all these symbols over here, and we have the HTML, the head tag. We can see the division with this class. We have another division. So all of these symbols over here are being displayed over here. So let me just click on this input, and we can see that we are taken to this input. So this can also save you a lot of time if you have a large amount of code in your project. Now you can also search for commands in VS Code. So let's press Ctrl P, and if I type the greater than symbol, we can see that we have a list of a lot of commands in VS Code. So we can see create a new file and edit configuration. We have a command for terminal, scroll to bottom, and format the document, and a lot of commands over here. So you can just go ahead and type the command over here. For example, if I type format document and press enter, we can see that this document has been formatted. And so you should really try to use the command palette instead of going over here to these menus and searching for the command over here. Let me show you one more example. So if I want to create a new file, I'll just press Ctrl P and greater than symbol, and I'll just type new, and we can see that the command is being displayed over here, and I'll just press enter. And here I just have to name the file. So I'll just type app.js, and here we can see the new file has been created. Now you also have a dedicated shortcut for your command palette. So you can just press Ctrl Shift P, and it brings you directly to the command palette, and you can just go ahead and use these commands. Alright, now the next thing I want to show you is how to use multiple cursors in your code. So for example, if you want to change this span to a division, so you can just double click over here to select this span, and we can see that this span is being selected. Now you can just press Ctrl D to select the next instance of the span. So now we can see that both the spans have been selected. Now let's press Ctrl D once more, and we have selected the next instance, and let's press Ctrl D once more, and here we can see that we have selected all the 4 instances. Now you can just start editing this text. So you can just delete this from here and just type div, and we can see that all the spans have changed to div. So that's basically how you can use multiple cursors in your code. Now for example, if you want to have multiple cursors but you don't have the same word, for example if you want to add a class to both these divisions over here, so you can just click over here, and we can see that the cursor is at the end of this class over here. And then you can just press and hold Alt and click anywhere else. So I'll just click over here, and now we can see that there are 2 cursors over here, one after this monthly class and one after the yearly class. In the same way, you can go ahead and add more cursors. So I'll just add one more cursor over here, and for all of these divisions, let's add a class called main. So let's add a space over here, and we can see that we have the space in all the 3 instances, and let's just type main. And we can see that the main class is being added to all these 3 divisions. So that's basically how you can use multiple cursors in your code. Now the next thing I want to show you is how to delete a line of code quickly. So for example, if you want to delete this line of code, you can just go ahead and select it and press delete, and it will be deleted. But there is a faster way to delete a line of code. So you can just click anywhere in the line of code, and we can see that the cursor is in this line of code. Now you can just press Ctrl X, and that line of code is deleted. So this can also save you some time. So just go to any of these lines and press Ctrl X, and that line will be deleted. Now let me show you a shortcut of commenting code. So for example, if you want to comment this input field over here, you can just click anywhere on this line of code, and then just press Ctrl/, and we can see that the line of code is commented. Now in the same way, you can uncomment the code by just pressing Ctrl/. Now if you want to comment multiple lines of code, you can just select all the code and then just press Ctrl/, and we can see that all these lines of code have been commented. Now I'm showing you all of this in the HTML file, but you can do this with all the other languages. So for example, let's go to this JavaScript file, and let's select these 2 lines of code, and let's press Ctrl/, and we can see that they have been commented. And in the same way, you can go ahead and comment any line of code in any language. Alright, now let me show you a faster way to move your lines of code up or down. So for example, if I want to move this input field outside this division to the top, then you can just click somewhere on this line of code, and then just press Alt and press the up or the down arrow. If I press the up arrow, we can see that it moves up, and if I press the down arrow, it moves down. So in this way, you can move this line of code anywhere you want. You can also do this with multiple lines of code. So let's select these 3 lines of code, and let's press and hold Alt and press the up arrow, and we can see that all the 3 lines of code have moved up, and if I press the down arrow, it moves down. Now if you want to duplicate any line of code, you can just click somewhere on the line of code, and then just press and hold Shift and Alt and press the down or the up arrow, and we can see that the code is being duplicated. Now in the same way, you can also duplicate multiple lines of code. So you just have to select all the lines of code, and then just press Shift and Alt and press the down arrow to copy it down, and the up arrow to copy it up. So these are some faster ways to copy your lines of code. Now if you want to create a folder and in that you want to create a file, then you can do all of that in a single step. So let's open the command palette, and let's select new file, and let's say I want to create a folder called test, and in that I want to create a file called script.js. So all I have to do is type test and then type / and then type the name of the file. So I'll just type script.js and press enter. And we can see that the test folder has been created, and in that we have the script.js file created. So this is a quicker way to add a folder and a file together. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is multiple editors. So here we can see we have this editor right here, and in that we have the index.html file opened. Now if you want to check these lines of code and also these lines of code simultaneously, then you can go ahead and open multiple editors. So for that you can go ahead and click on this button called split editor right. And now we can see that there are two editors, and here we have the index.html file, and even here we have the same file. Now here you can go ahead and scroll down, and the other editor will stay there. So here we can go ahead and scroll down and check out the other part of the code, and here on the left side we can check out the other parts of the code. So in this way you can access multiple parts of your code, and you can copy and paste the code. So let's copy this section from here and let's paste it over here at the end of the division. And now if you scroll down here on the left side, we can see that the section has been added over here. Now if I remove this section from here, we can see that it is deleted from here as well. So we are seeing the same file over here on the left and on the right. Now you can also do this with the multiple files. So on the left you can open a different file, and on the right you can open a different file. So just click on a file and it will be opened over here. And if you want to bring this to the other editor, you can just drag and drop it over here, and we can see that the file is in this editor right here. Now in this way you can open multiple editors. So just click on this button once more, and we can see that there are 3 editors over here. So this can also be really useful in your development process. Now if you want to close this editor, you can just close this file over here, and we can see that the editor has been closed. And if I want to close this editor, I'll just close these files over here, and we can see that we have just one editor over here. Now VS Code comes with an extension called Emmet already installed in it. So Emmet is basically an extension that can be used to write HTML and CSS faster. So let me show you how it works. So let's create a new HTML file over here. So I'll just open the command palette and new file, and I'll just type about.html. One of the shortcuts that we have in Emmet is that you can just type exclamation and press tab, and we can see that we have this whole HTML5 boilerplate code written over here. And now if you want to create a division with a class of container and an ID of main container, you can just type .container for the class and hash main container, and then you have to press tab. And here we can see we have this division with a class of container and an ID of main container. So Emmet can definitely increase your speed of writing HTML. Let me show you one more example. So I'll just create a UL, and in that we'll create 5 LIs. So for that you have to type greater than LI and asterisk 5. So this will create 5 LIs, and in that we need to have an anchor tag. So I'll just type greater than A, and for the href we need to have a hash. So I'll just add square brackets, and I'll just type href equals hash, and then in the anchor tag we will have menu1, menu2 and so on displayed. So for that let's open curly braces and let's type menu, and we want to have numbers 1 through 5. So let's type $symbol and let's press tab, and here we can see we have the UL created, and we also have the list items, and in that we have the anchor tags, and we have menu 1 through 5 displayed over here. So as you can see, Emmet can really improve your speed of writing HTML, and it also has shortcuts for CSS. You can go ahead and check them out. And if you want to learn more about Emmet, I already have a video dedicated to Emmet, so you can go ahead and check that out. I'll leave the link in the description of this video. Now in my editor I have set up an option called scroll beyond last line. So here we can see when we scroll down, we can see that it scrolls beyond the last line and it scrolls till here. So if you want to turn on this option, you can go over here to File and then go to Preferences and then go to Settings and then just search for Scroll Beyond, and here you can see the option called Scroll Beyond Last Line. So if I turn this option off and if I scroll down, we can see that it doesn't scroll down after the last line. So if I turn this option on, it scrolls beyond the last line. So if you want to have this behavior in your code editor, you can just go over here to Settings and turn this option on called Scroll Beyond Last Line. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is how to format your code. So here we can see we have this HTML code, and let's just add some spaces over here and Now we can see that this code is not formatted. We can see that everything is not aligned perfectly. And now if I save this file, so I just press Ctrl S, and we can see that everything comes back in place. So the code has been formatted. So for this I'm using an extension called Prettier. So just go over here to extensions and then just search for Prettier, and you'll find this page over here. So this is the Prettier code formatter. You can just go ahead and install this. And once you install it, you have to set it to format on save. So you have to go over here to File and Preferences and Settings, and then just search for Format. And here we can see the default formatter is Prettier Code Formatter. So if you have anything else selected over here, you can just select Prettier Code Formatter from this drop down menu. And once you do that, just turn this option on called Format on Save. And now whenever you make changes to your file and save the file, the code will be formatted. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is the option of pinning a tab. So you can just right click on any of these tabs over here and then just click on pin. And we can see that we have this pin icon over here, and we don't have the option of closing this tab. So you can close any of these tabs over here, but you cannot close this tab because it is pinned. Now one of the advantages of pinning a tab is that it will always be displayed at the beginning. And even if you right click over here on any of these tabs and then click on Close Others, we can see that the other tabs are closed, but this tab is still here. So you can just go ahead and pin a tab that is frequently used. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is how to expand or shrink selection. So here I'm in this paragraph, so I'll just press Alt and Shift and then press the left or the right arrow. So here I'll just press the right arrow, and we can see that all this text is being selected. And if I press the right arrow once more, we can see that the paragraph tag is selected. And if I press the right arrow once more, we can see that the heading is also selected. And if I press the right arrow once more, we can see that the division is selected and then the section. And in this way you can go ahead and expand your selection. And in the same way, if you want to shrink the selection, you can just press the left arrow and we can see that the selection is being shrinked. Alright, that's it with some of the tips and tricks to make using VS Code easier and efficient. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel to get the latest video updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.